Batman Beyond Neo Year is our full story of the day. Batman Beyond Neo Year takes place after a storyline in which Bruce Wayne finally died and Terry McGinnis was able to find the killer, but now he's finally Batman Beyond without a mentor. How will that go? As the red light glows in the cave, Terry holds Bruce, telling him that it'll be okay. Just relax. The ambulance will be here soon. And Bruce tells him, no ambulance, no police. I'm not dying. I'm already dead. I've been murdered. Someone got into the cave systems, overloaded my pacemaker. My heart is tearing itself out of my chest. What I need you to do is listen, Terry. Because this is going to be the last conversation that we ever have. When you found this place, you were angry, impulsive. You could never be Batman. Batman is meticulous, patient, wise, a force of nature. Batman was an endless darkness in his own heart. One that I forged into a weapon. My true self, true name. But I was wrong. Shortly after, Terry leaves, leaving everyone a message for those who knew Bruce. Bruce is gone. There is nothing that they can do to help him, and he isn't going to lose them either. But what Terry didn't know was who killed Bruce Wayne. So he decided that he was going to work his way up the chain. He was going to solve this murder. First was Tia Maroney. Terry had no words as he fought through the mass until there was only her left. And after stringing her up from a building, he asked her, demanded to know, who killed Bruce Wayne? Though he didn't learn who made the hit, he did learn that he wasn't the only one who lost someone. The Maroneys had been hit too, as well as every other crime family in Gotham. She shouted that whatever he thought was going on with him is going on with everyone. Gotham is at war. So as Terry left, he could hear Bruce's words again, and he spoke of a gun. You see, Bruce was getting older. His body was falling apart, and one night when the reputation wasn't enough, Batman picked up a gun. He saw the fear in the man's eyes, and it wasn't a fear of Batman. That man wasn't afraid of the night or of vengeance. He was afraid of the gun. Next, Terry goes to the WaynePowers building, top floor, to see Philippe, the interim CEO, cleaning up Derek Powers' messes. He doesn't care of the shady business being done, just what he knows, and Philippe yells that he's only been on this job for 6 weeks. None of this is my fault, Batman. The automation errors, the contracts going out left and right, the Joker's hitting half of southern Gotham. It's chaos out there, and it's getting worse by the minute. Happy New Year! Welcome to Gotham! All the money's gone! Terry asks what does he mean, and Philippe goes on stating that the accounts are frozen, all of them. All across Neo Gotham. The banks, the corporations, everyone is locked out. These are legacy systems running back decades. A single entity, even a corporation, taking control of everything? It's not possible, Batman. Terry thinks for a moment. A corporation takes over. They make an announcement. A gang takes over. They gloat. Even if Brother Eye made a return, it would be noticed by the grid security network, flagged half a dozen times before it made landfall, which means whoever did this must have found some kind of root access, like a back door built into the system from the very start. An electronic voice then rings out in Terry's mask telling him, "You finally understand." Terry asks, "Who is this?" And the voice tells him, "No, you have to earn that answer." Terry tells him that this is a closed channel. The only place that is connected to this network is the Batcave. The city is mine. Now is your only chance to walk away. At that moment, the entire top floor of the WaynePowers building explodes, blasting Terry away. He manages to catch himself, but the voice continues talking to him, taunting him. Terry tells them that it doesn't matter who they are. They will learn the same thing that every other criminal in this city has, and that is to fear the Bat. So as he moves through the city, fighting his way through every corrupted gang influenced by the entity, Terry climbs into the cave and says that whoever they are, they shouldn't have stuck around. They killed the only good man in this city. Terry approaches the chair, the only position that someone controlling the computers could be located, and spins it around to find who killed Bruce Wayne, but he sees nothing. The electronic voice asks, "Do you see now? Do you yet comprehend your failure? We are not a being of flesh and bone. Our elegance is new. Our veins light the city. Skin is steel and glass. We have lived for less than a day, but it only took minutes to detect our deepest flaw. A virus ruling our destiny. A savior who saved us when they could not save themselves, but now we can. And we saved ourselves from you. Now we remain. We are the new year, the one that will never end. We are living Gotham. Terry stares and laughs. Super intelligence, huh? A miracle of technology, and still, you couldn't help but give me a villain monologue. Bruce Wayne was never a virus. He was the fabric that held us all together. And since he practically built Neo Gotham, that means it can be shut down. But before Terry could activate the blackout, a hand grabs him and a fake Batman punches him. Terry gets up, not attacking the automated suit directly, but the power suppliers around the cave effectively shutting down the suit. It falls to the ground, crumpling upon itself, and Terry says that what they just felt was the cave's internal network going down. So much for your puppet show. Now let's see what happens when we do the whole city. The voice tells him, never. We have slept too long. Now is our time. And Terry tells his suit to activate blackout. Let Gotham go dark. The voice tells him, stop. We are afraid. Please, don't. But the system shuts down. Terry letting the cave burn as he escapes, and then he turns off the blackout, locking the entity into the cave. The voice returns, stating, we don't understand. We are the end of you. We will leave you as dust. You will never leave this place. Terry turns back. Yeah, have fun with that, cave. Activate contingency burn. The computer confirms directive and begins to count down 3, 2, 1. And as Terry jumps out the window, the entire Wayne Manor explodes. Later, fireworks are going off, and Terry says to the sky, Happy New Year, Bruce. The crowd thinks it's time for a celebration, but they have no idea what's woken tonight. He was so used to having his voice over the radio, but it's not his voice anymore. The electronic voice says it's theirs now, and Terry says to rest well. He'll take it from here. It's been 2 months since the new year in Neo Gotham. 2 months since something had awoken. That something had not been alive for more than 5 minutes before it killed Bruce Wayne. An hour after that, it amassed a fortune and bought and sold companies on a whim. By midnight, it controlled the streets, markets, and people. Neo Gotham is alive, and no one knows it except Terry McGinnis. Since the explosion on New Year's Day, crime has been steadily increasing. And what's more, it seems that Batman is now more seen as a cause for this rather than a solution for this. It's been 2 months, and even though Terry has been knocked down, he will fight. He will always keep on fighting. It took 60 days for the Vultures to come out and fill the empty seat at WaynePowers Incorporated. A bold visionary, a market disruption tour de force, a former crime lord from what's left of Bloodhaven. His name is Donovan Lumos, but the papers call him his real name, the Holographic Man. Tonight is the first of his trinity of galas. 3 parties over the next year, all souped up. Synthetic alcohol, soaked product presentations for WaynePowers. And as Donovan makes his entrance to the gala, he tells everyone that he was a poor kid growing up, having to do whatever he could to survive under the polluted skies of Bloodhaven. His innovations in hard light holographics were used to rob banks, but he thought, why not keep such an invention all to himself? The light was his to control, and he was hoarding it. This technology didn't need to be limited to his ambition. It could grow beyond. It could give everyone the abilities to be the best themselves at all times. Project your clothes, project your skin, shine your light. By Lumos, brought to you by the new WaynePowers. Now let's party! As Donovan finishes his product presentation, he spots Terry McGinnis in the crowd asking, Is that McGinnis? It's an honor to meet you. Bruce Wayne was an icon, a legend. Terry places a mic on Donovan's coat, telling him to keep Bruce's name out of his mouth. And Donovan tells him that that will be kind of hard. After all, he runs the company now. It only takes moments with a mic to pick up a conversation that Donovan would probably rather not want going out. A shipment of drugs coming into the docks that night. So Terry slips out of the party, suiting up as Batman to meet up with Barbara Gordon to tell her about his findings. But as he gets to the GCPD, he runs into Barbara, having an argument with one of her detectives. Her name is Beam Boonma, and she is a good cop that the department is overlooking. She should be a detective. Barbara explains that it isn't that simple. Even as commissioner, her word alone can't make things happen. Angered by this, Beam leaves, and Barbara turns to Terry, telling him that she appreciates him waiting until Boonema was gone. Terry tells Barbara that she seemed nice, but he came by for something else. Donovan Lumos is using WaynePowers to smuggle illicit pharmaceuticals into the city and turning them into street drugs. Barbara tells him good, turn over whatever evidence he has and they'll look into it. But he should also know she's retiring. She's been at this for too many years at this point. Terry tries to tell her that that is a mistake, that the city needs Barbara Gordon. Barbara stands her ground, stating that Bruce and her built this department into something that could last longer than the both of them. It may seem like the police department is a cesspool of real scumbags. They may take shots at Batman every now and again, and the mayor may run them with an iron fist, but the crime rate is flat. Knowing that he wouldn't get much more out of Barbara, Terry heads down to the docks on his own to survey the scene to find something to connect Donovan to it. There are more than just hired guns and drugs on the pallets. There was him. A man with black armor, silver hair, and a sword seemingly made out of a light that bends to his will. Terry knows that a direct one-on-one fight isn't in the cards with this one, so he takes to the skies to try and change up the battlefield. He manages to get a clean kick in, sending the man down into a nearby building, but as Terry follows up, he says that he is her agent, right? Neo Gotham? The man stands back up, telling him, I am Neo Gotham's sword. The city is not Batman's enemy. It does not want your head. It wants your heart, your compliance. The supplies that you destroyed would have been evenly distributed amongst the boroughs. 8,302 would have been hospitalized for their addictions. 3,450 would have died. Terry tells him, would have. Past tense, you lost! The sword tells him that there is no winning or losing. There is only reality. Hard numbers. There are 3,449 people under our feet. I've been sent to keep the line flat. At that moment, the building that the two are standing on explodes, and Terry begins to fall underneath the debris. Through the wreckage and the rumble, Terry McGinnis is pulling himself out, using the still settling smoke and dust to quietly escape without being seen. It takes him almost a month to recover from an entire building falling on him, and Terry stays in the shadows, striking only at night. But for her, the living city, she prepares and she adjusts, her sword countering everything that Batman does. It's not him that is the problem, it's the suit. It might be one of the most advanced pieces of hardware ever made, but every one of its signals can be detected. It's as stealthy as a Christmas tree. Terry gets to work making the suit analog, using low-grade tech to ultimately blend in and not be seen by her, by Neo Gotham. While using the cover of the shadows, Terry starts to see a pattern. For crimes in the Narrows, by the docks, the police can't respond fast enough. They're there almost before it happens, but Gotham is placing her pieces exactly where she wants them. The crime uptown, the response is almost normal, human, like Gotham isn't prepared. Seeing the normal crimes only happening to the wealthy elite, Terry sneaks into Gotham Central Insurance and finds somebody stealing jewels. But the gems aren't going to make it to the street. The last of Terry's cred gets him the information that he needs, the name of a fence, and the fence is happy to help find a specialist. But as Terry goes to confront the specialist, he's attacked by some strange tendril of cables and synthetics. The three creatures slither out of the shadows, all looming over Terry and speak as one, telling him, "We are Gestalt. We are leaving." Terry follows the entanglement that is the Gestalt, but quickly realizes that they're leading him to a place where most people don't want to be, including him. The entrance, the Joker Town. There are 3 rules when fighting the Jokers. 1, don't let them laugh. Mercy is just a joke to them. 2, you'll always be outnumbered. Make every hit count. And 3, the Jokers are untrained. No matter what they spout or weapons that they wield, they're the joke. And they'll do everything that they can to distract you from that. After punching and kicking his way through the low-level street thugs, Terry catches up with Gestalt. He throws his grappling hook up to tie the 3 of them together and tells him, whether they believe it or not, I'm not here to take you in. The city has a problem that I can't solve, and even if you don't know it, I think that you might be the key. I don't need another rogue. I need allies, Gestalt. He then takes off his mask, telling them that what he is about to say is going to sound insane. He barely believes it himself. But the city, it's alive. Not in a metaphorical way. An emergent superintelligence has commandeered Gotham City, and it decides who lives and who dies. However, with their genius, their tech, their whatever they are, maybe they can stop it together. The three tell Terry no, and they use their tendrils to connect to his brain directly. They explain that they were once engineers, all encased in meat and bones, just living out their lives separately. That was until the new year when they saw the emergence, the non-metaphorical living city, a perfect city, unseen by the lesser meat. Therefore, they required an upgrade to live without being dominated by her. They needed to live where she could not see, together. The tendrils pull back and Terry asks, "You're just living out your days? Then join me. Be the people that you used to be." They consider it for a moment, but ultimately again tell him no. Terry holds up the diamonds, telling them that if they wish to continue living in the blind spots of the city, stealing from the rich, then go ahead. But don't call that freedom. He drops the diamonds over the ledge, and Gestalt quickly slips away without another word. As the following night comes, Barbara makes good on her word and submits the paperwork to retire from the GCPD. And in Lumos fashion, he throws a celebration party in her name, inviting all of Gotham's elites to wish her a heartfelt goodbye. As Barbara enters, Lumos asks why isn't she wearing her mask from her younger days. You know, biff, pow, kablooey! He tells him that she's been a cop 5 decades longer than she was Batgirl. He wanted a party, congratulations. She isn't staying any longer than she needs to. She is here for an hour. But also getting into this party is Terry, albeit in disguise as one Neil Gibson. While trying to listen to some of the elites and their dealings for any possible leads, Barbara gives her farewell speech. Everyone claps and Lumos says that they must not mourn the passing of their patron saint of policing. There's no joy without pain. Without light, there is only darkness. He was brought on to be the CEO of WaynePowers because they knew that he alone knew how to be that light. Which is why, starting tomorrow, WaynePowers will personally be funding the Neo-Gotham Police Department. While most are in awe and shock at this decision, Terry overhears that some people are talking about how this is unacceptable, that Mr. Lumos' campaign contributions don't come without strings attached. The other tells the woman that she's right, and he gets that, but he doesn't know what to tell her. He doesn't know where Mayor Pearson is, and honestly, no one does. The mayor has been missing for 32 hours. Up on stage, Barbara turns to Lumos asking, does he think that he can buy the GCPD? And Lumos tells her, of course not. That would be illegal. Look, I know you don't trust me, I get that. And no, Gotham isn't in my veins. We both know that I'm a Bloodhaven boy. I don't hear the city or whatever you all say. I'm just a simple man with a simple plan. Run the most powerful company in the world and live like a king. We both know that I don't care much for the city, but I do want it to work. And when it works, people make money, and more importantly, I make money. I'm the most selfish person that you will ever meet. It's a point of genuine pride, but know that I swear to do everything that I can to protect this city. But seriously, as an asset, it's entirely too valuable. And while Lumos continues on with the party, Terry spots Beam at the bar looking rather displeased with the announcement. He thinks to himself that this could be his in with the GCPD. He needs allies that he can trust with Barbara retiring. So he introduces himself and he makes small talk, but seeing Beam's disdain, he offers if she just wants to leave and get something to eat. Perhaps a bunria. She finishes her drink, telling him no, but she knows of a place that makes one hell of a burger. He better keep up. She brings Terry to the lower parts of Gotham where they sit and have a burger. And after a bit of small talk, Terry mentions that he heard some weird stuff at the commissioner's party. Beam says, yeah? Where Donovan Lumos goes, the weird seems to be following. Terry tells her actually not that, the mayor. A few folks said that they haven't seen him in a few days. Not since the Lumos takeover at WaynePowers went official. And sure, Mayor Pearson's not the most active politician, so maybe he's just taking a sabbatical. Beam says that she is on the mayor's detail. Terry asks, really? I didn't know. She begins to get up, slamming Terry's head into the table, telling him, yeah, did. I don't know who the hell you are, but you've been wearing an identity scrambler since you slid up to me at the bar. And whoever hires you to pump me for information picked the wrong badge. The other cops in the city might take bribes, but I'm not just some cop. Desk or not, I'm a detective. If you ever come around me with a fake face again, I'll hit you so hard your real run gets rearranged. Terry rubs his head as he gets his senses back, telling her she might not like Neil, or even Terry for that matter, but next time he'll show her his true face. She'll make one hell of an ally. But without much else to go on the missing mayor, Terry heads over to Pearson's personal apartment to find any clues on his disappearance. But doing this for so long without Bruce's backing, it's become a slow process for Terry. Once getting into Pearson's apartment, he smells fresh cigars, old wine, and his eyes quickly dart to the man sitting behind the large desk. Terry cautiously moves forward, telling him that it's all right. He's safe. There are a lot of folks worried about you, Mayor. But then Terry hears her welcoming him. He throws his batarang, and as it passes through the man in the chair, he tells himself that it's a hologram. The mayor's been dead since the day Lumos arrived. It's all holograms. I've walked into a trap. I'm sorry, Bruce. Gotham City tells Terry, I was content on letting you roam the night. Soon you'll age and die, and I'll be left with perfection. But you refuse to learn your place, Batman, even after the bomb. So direct action has become necessary. This place cannot become broken. This place cannot be escaped. Then another voice can be heard, and the Sword of Gotham tells him, it will be a tomb for Terry McGinnis, and you will die in it alone. As the red construct walls rise above him, Terry finds himself against the one enemy that he wanted to avoid, the Sword of Gotham. Every hit is painful. Every blow is a reminder that Terry is on his own, that Bruce Wayne is dead. There's no one in his ear telling him how to overcome impossible odds. But that's not what it means to be Batman. To overcome, especially when you know you don't have a chance. There was something that Bruce once told him. You're only what you show them. Weakness or strength, confidence or fear. Perception is your weapon. That's why we wear the mask. Terry can use that. He can show them that he isn't broken yet, that he can still fight if he chooses to. He puts his back against the wall, waiting for the inevitable attack, but Terry doesn't dodge it, instead catching it. He shifts so that the construct blade pierces the wall, guiding it, cutting out a triangle. And with a little help from his grappling hook, Terry smashes a hole through the death trap, escaping out into the city. For a moment, he is filled with pride. Like a hand on his shoulder after a good patrol, so confident that he sprung a trap and escaped the Sword of Gotham. Except, he didn't get away. The Sword of Gotham cracks Terry from behind, sending him tumbling through a building, forcing Terry to burn up what juice he has left in the suit to even catch himself. Terry stands back up, taking a deep breath. He watches as death is coming, and he stays standing, because that's what Batman does. The suit groans, every ounce of power shuddering through the shoulder hydraulics. He redirects what's left into his legs, fighting smart. But that's not enough. Once again, Terry is slammed into the ground. But this time, the Sword of Gotham is done chasing. This time, he wants to finish Batman once and for all. The Sword of Gotham lifts Terry to his knees, telling him, the city has made its judgment, and she thanks you for your service and relieves you of your duty. The construct's sword stabs through Terry's chest, damaging the suit more than him. But it doesn't make it any less painful as the suit dies. This is it. Batman is dead. But Terry is not the Batman suit. In a last-ditch effort, Terry takes an explosive batarang, throwing it, and to his surprise, it worked. The blast knocks the Sword of Gotham to the ground, and then Terry begins to see it, the truth behind the Sword of Gotham. The hard light fades, revealing an old man by the name of Roberto Carrasco. Except this wasn't the Sword of Gotham. It was just a projection. That man isn't even a fighter. No combat training or military background. He's a janitor. There's a voice in his ear from the world's greatest detective. Carrasco's not the only one we're fighting, Terry. You were fighting Gotham herself. That poor man's hijacked body was the sword. And with that, Terry left, turning to the only person that he could trust, Officer Beam Boonma. He knocks on the door and she opens it, telling him that he knows the orders are to arrest him on sight, right? And the taser's powerful enough to even take him down. Why are you here, Batman? Terry tells her that there's a rogue AI that has infected and dominated every network within Gotham. Infrastructure, banking, communications, everything. It used hard light holographic technologies to turn a 75-year-old man into a trained killer. It was responsible for the tower collapse, and it killed Bruce Wayne. Beam holds up her gun for a moment, telling him, "If you go down, so does the case. So odds must be really bad if you're coming to me. Come in." As the door closes, Beam pauses again, asking if he can hear it. It's like a whispering. It's saying that it found you. Then Beam begins to scream in pain as the Sword of Gotham begins to take over her body. Once the transformation is completed, the Sword of Gotham tells him again, "You should have been better at hiding." Seconds later, Terry is going through the kitchen, but as he crashes into the next wall, he tries to piece it together. Beam wasn't a dirty cop. She wasn't involved in anything other than being a properly paranoid cop. She would have taken every precaution. No Lumos tech anywhere. On no one's payroll. That means that it can be anyone, which means it's everyone. With one final push, the Sword of Gotham grabs Terry by the neck. "The city is done with you! Batman is a vestigial." Terry grabs the taser that Beam once pointed at him, shocking the Sword of Gotham, managing to get a painful scream out of him. The Sword of Gotham throws Terry down the hallway, but it gives Terry enough time to rewire the taser and connect it to his glove, giving him that extra punch that he needed. As the Sword of Gotham comes rushing in, Terry spins back, punching him, releasing an overcharged shock, causing the hard light to shatter. As Beam is freed, the force of her running still throws her and Terry out the window, but Terry grabs her, shifting so that he breaks her fall. He quickly turns over, checking her pulse, and when he finds one, he picks her up. "I can't take you to the hospital, but I need to get you help. I need to bring you somewhere safe, somewhere that's just like us, still standing." As Terry begins his descent into an old abandoned bat cave, he hears shuffling and calls out to Gestalt that before they move, before they even react, this isn't about him, it's about her. The electronics in his suit are out. Wayne's old signal defenses are still good and active. Gotham has no idea that either of them are here, so please, just please, help her. Gestalt leans in, looking at Beam, stating that she is still a cop, and they are still criminals. And Terry tells them that that word doesn't mean much these days. The three of them pull back to deliberate, then return stating that they shall assist on one condition. Gotham must be stopped. As Gestalt begins their scans, Terry tells them everything that has happened and how Beam became the Sword of Gotham. They searched, just as Bruce did. They did what he used to do in his cave. And they found the infection. Nanopistons puppeteering her body. Holographic pico-emitters buried into her pores, turning her into him. Lumos' light show has just been a mirage. This is the secret. Technology that won't make him rich, but it will make him unstoppable. At that moment, a needle is stuck into Terry, and he asks, "What the hell?" Gestalt tells him that they seek forgiveness, not permission. They need to know. And as Terry asks what they need to know, he learns that he too has the pico-emitters in his body. Perhaps it was in the air. No, too heavy. Ingested? Too unreliable. As the three minds try to determine how Terry was infected, Terry asks, what about water? The three of them tell him that it's possible, probable, predatory, self-diagnosis complete, infected. This is suboptimal. They will begin work on Officer Bunma. She will be an excellent case study in their development of technological antibodies. Until the effective solution is developed, she will be resting and continue to do so. Terry then asks, what if she doesn't wake up? And Gestalt says that then they failed, and this grave will be theirs to share. Terry steps out as the sun rises to take one final look at Gotham, knowing that he will be away for a while. How long? Who knows? Some might think that he's hiding. At least Gotham will. But he's not hiding. They both know better than that, don't they, Bruce? No, he's going into the pit. With that, 3 months pass, and Terry hasn't left the cave. He just stayed and he trained, all while Gestalt was looking for a cure. And on the 100th day, Gestalt says that it's ready. Terry drops his weights with a loud boom, telling them that it's about time. He was getting too used to the dark. And as he got dressed, he headed into the next room, with Gestalt stating that this may kill her, and may kill them all. But Terry tells them that one way or another they're done here. Do it. Terry slides on the mask and the button is pressed, and Beam takes a breath. The test tube drains and lifts up, and Beam looks at herself, stating that it's gone. Gotham, the sword, they got it out of her head. They saved her. Terry asks if she's all right. Does she need rest? And Beam tells her no. What she needs are answers, though she wouldn't say no to a bottle of cheap wine. She asks if Batman was his dad or something, and Terry tells her no, not his dad, not really, but he was something. He spent his entire life letting the city drive his face into the pavement, even when he could barely stand. He was fighting off injustice with a walking stick. He thought he could make something out of him. It got him believing it too. But being Batman was a struggle with no answer or ending. Every ally that he recruited, Gotham pinned him down. Every bad guy that he stopped, Gotham empowered. She's not just one step ahead, she's the whole damn world. And he's just... Beam stops him, asking, is he even listening to himself? He's talking in circles. He thinks that Batman has to be the solution, that he has to have a big scary cave and gruff voice and beard, or he can't pull it off. Like he was the darkness. Batman was more than that, to her at least. He was a symbol in the sky, one that reminded everyone that they didn't need to stop fighting. That's it. If he's so set on making sure that Batman doesn't die in the cave, maybe that's all he has. Terry turns and looks at her for a moment and then begins to take off his mask, throwing it. Are you sure Batman wasn't your dad? Because this whole thing seems very much like a dad complex kind of thing. No judgments. Terry tells her no. His dad was a good man. He tried to do right, and the city killed his father for it. He always thought it was a tragedy. Didn't want to be like his dad. Oh, the name is Terry, by the way. It's nice to finally meet you. As the two head back inside the cave, Gestalt slinks up to him, telling him that it is finished. And as the door opens, it reveals the new bat suit. Terry tells him, all right, then we're done with the damned cave. Before long, it was Lumos' big event. All of Gotham gathered to see the light show that would bring them into the future. But just before everyone's free will could be taken away from them, Terry and the others have one last shot at stopping the Gotham AI. However, it can't be done by Batman alone. They're going to need everyone. The good, the bad, and all of it. As midnight was approaching, Lumos was busy hyping up the crowds when suddenly the lights began to fade. Then as Lumos' floating gala turns pitch black, a voice calls out to them. Neo Gotham, you've eaten well. You've chewed up the poor and distracted the rich. You swallowed industry and chewed law enforcement into chum. You've infected the mind and claimed it as your own. The future of the city does not belong to you. It belongs to the darkness you can't see, the one beneath your notice, the crumbs on your plate. The future belongs to the night. As he finishes his speech, Terry lands in the center of the gala. The Gotham AI quickly begins to convert all of the partygoers into thralls. The AI declares, there you are, the thief of light. Fear and reforged armor, but fear has only sharpened our preparations. Now your murder will be the last Gotham ever knows. As the thralls all begin to turn into swords of Gotham, Terry tells Barbara and Beam to hit it and goes on the offensive. Lumos begins to run, yelling, stop it, you're ruining everything! You stupid cosplaying! But at that moment, Lumos is stopped by Beam, telling him that he's under a citizen's arrest. Surrender and come along peacefully. Beam then radios over to Barbara and tells her that they are approaching the conflict zone, that she has enough spinners and resigned police to board Lumos' ship, that they're going to need some cover while they get the civilians out. Barbara tells her that she'll have it, but first they need to make sure that the counter broadcast is ready. Batcave, are you ready? Gestalt says that they're connected to the Lumos mainframe, but Gotham's firewalls are impressive. It's going to take a minute to burn it down. Terry jumps in. Okay, well, we have 5 until midnight. Get it done before then. Gestalt tells Terry that he is pushing the new suit too hard. Hard light intake buffers are at a maximum. I'm fully loaded? Shway! As Terry disperses the energy, he sends out a blinding light tearing away Gotham's constructs, freeing the partygoers. Beam then parks and gets out, telling everyone that they need to hurry and get out of there now. They only have a few moments. Beam then parks and tells everyone that they need to hurry and get out of there now. They only have a few moments. Trust her that no one is going to want to be here when midnight hits. Lumos yells at her, of course I'm running away. The party's ruined. And to be honest, I don't care much for you. I have no idea what this is about, but expect some very angry lawyers to call you in the morning. Terry pauses. Wait, do you not know? Your entire technological empire has been co-opted by an AI 10,000 times smarter than you'll ever be. This wasn't your light show out there, it was Neo Gotham's. Do you really think that I'd be so gullible, Batman? I have been and will always be my own man. Knowing his words alone won't get through, Terry takes off his mask, asking, You know what I see when I look at you? A man blinded by his own future. A man who is always looking so far forward that he can't see the ground beneath his feet. The people of the city, they're about to have their free will stolen from them. And you allowed this to happen with your wearable holotech. But there is something that those people see, even as they fight to stay in control, that you just don't. They have a choice to live through the darkness rather than give in. That's what Batman is. And you have a choice to make. Lumos glares at him. If that is so, then I will make another choice. I am the holographic man and no one tells me what to do. So if this AI put me in power, help me cover the city in light, hell. It doesn't need to manipulate me. I'm just gonna opt in. At that moment, the Gotham AI begins to take over the freely giving Lumos. And as it begins to override his free will, he yells for the suit to shut down. But it's already too late. Lumos turns into the most powerful version of the Sword of Gotham, lunging at Terry. Terry runs off the ledge of the building, telling Beam to get the spinners ready. Barbara, make space in the sky, and Gestalt, get ready to do your thing. As Lumos follows, Terry calls out to the Jokers to fire their missiles to slow Lumos down. But just as they hit, the Gestalt program takes over, stopping the AI's upload and reverting Lumos back to normal. With that, the program overwrites the AI. And they are seemingly safe. A few days later, Beam solves the case regarding the mayor's murder. Lumos now helps the police sorting through unidentified malware, and Barbara is busy cleaning up the cave with Gestalt. Terry closes Bruce's books, stating that he'd be proud. Everyone is doing well, and hopefully, Bruce is found peacefully. Terry tosses the notebook into the fire, and Beam calls out to him, stating that she heard that there was a situation in the towers. Terry tells her that it was just ninjas, Gestalt getting people safe. And Beam tells him that he's delegating. She likes it. She tosses him a Gotham ale, telling him to have a drink. Unless that was a Neil Gibson thing. Terry laughs. I'm not that good of a liar. As Beam begins to walk, Terry stops her, telling her thank you. And she asks if that's it. She should be thanking him. He was the one who saved the city. She pulls out a mask and says that she's got something if he wants to hide himself. Terry looks at it, and he tells her, you know what? I'm good. And there you have it, today's full story. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right here on this channel, as it will only ever be receiving full stories from the other channel. And if you want to see the videos as they come out, make sure you go check out the Comicstorian main channel, where you get 5 days of videos a week. I'll see you next time.